Hello, ladies and germs. Tex here with you for another UTG nightly update. Hope you are keeping safe and well wherever you are in the world. Before we continue on, big episode tonight, BTC, LTC, and ETH will be a quick one from me. But if you are picking up what we're putting down, please hit that subscribe button and show your support for Team UTG. Everything we do here is 100% free, and we do this because we love giving back to this community and seeing you succeed and make those well-deserved profits. For everything else that we do at UTG, of course, head to unitytradinggroup.com, all our free guides and goodies, podcasts, you name it. You can pretty much type in a term now, whether it be Fibonacci, supply and demand, trend lines, MACD, and Unity Trading Group, and you will find a guide online. All right, so let's get into this. I've really only just opened up the charts, haven't looked at them much today at all. Pretty glad to see that we had a touch of this top supply zone, which we've now rejected off, and it seemed to be heading back down towards this 53 supply now turned demand zone, which we'll see act as a little bit of a level of support. If we don't hold this level here, then I think the Fibonacci levels sort of speak for themselves. We'll be looking for that 61 to hold in this previous high. And then if that doesn't hold, back down to 56.50. Yesterday, when we saw this little bit of a wobble in the market, I said here that I thought that was going to be a little bit of a stop hunt before a move higher. We got that, which was great. Looking at our gravy train indicator, man, this thing has been so much fun. If you do want to know more about that, unitytradinggroup.com/gravy, baby. Get 50% off your first month. Easily the most powerful and accurate indicator that we have ever created, 18 months in the making. So if we look at this one here, we had a perfect rejection off the gravy cloud. And I love this strategy that we teach, which is a part of Gravy Train. We rejected off the top of the cloud, hit this previous high in this supply zone, bounced beautifully from there, and then made our move back up pretty quickly towards this 57.58 supply zone, which is the highest quality supply zone before that pretty decent drop that we had there before. So really looking at where we are now, if we want to continue seeing these higher lows and these higher highs, we want to see a confident break and close above this 58.2 or this 58.3 level, and then ultimately hold that before a continuation to the upside. The market seemingly turning on a dime and has been a little bit more bullish again in the last week or so. Obviously, the I told you so's and the bears will come out if this continues to move back down to the downside. You can see here now that we've got a pretty decent level of support at that 61, which is also our gravy cloud zone. So that very well likely could be the downside level of interest as we continue to move down. Looking at our Unicorn indicator, you can see that we've got our EMA support right here at this supply now turned demand zone, or this support zone here. Again, that's going to be sort of the last line of defense before we start looking at these Fibonacci's as more significant levels, I suppose, than what they are now. But the reason why we take profits on the way up is so you're not holding 100% of your bag here. You're taking profits at these predefined levels. And then by the time that we get towards these significant supply or demand zones, you are taking profit and you are out of the market more so than what you would be had you have just held on all the way up and now giving back a decent little amount of your gain. So right now you would have given back almost 5% of your gain. So that's pretty much the play on BTC at the moment. I will wait to see what happens at this level. Ultimately, I'm still bullish on BTC. Have we just established a range between a really gnarly range between here? Perhaps, but I'm still macro bullish on BTC, and I'm looking to take profits on the way up, and I'm looking to layer in buys on the way down to continue bringing my average entry price down, and of course accumulating more BTC, LTC, ETH, whatever the asset is that you are trading. Primarily for me at the moment, LTC, BTC, and ETH is all I am focusing on. And when you've got tools like Gravy Train and Steamroller, for example, telling you what's what, it becomes a pretty fun market to trade. All right, let's get into FUSD. This is one that I've been trading very actively as of late. Yesterday, when I published this chart here on the 1 hour time frame, I said we need to be looking out for bearish retests of this trend line, a little bit more of a sustained uptrend on the 1 hour than what we saw on BTC. But as we've seen as of late, we have this habit of having these double bottom moves. So I said, even if we did have a bearish rejection off here, I said, just hold strong and see what happens at this 23 and this fib level before making any moves. So if we go to the 1 hour time frame, yes, we had a bearish rejection off there. We did get a little pin bar buy up. But obviously, there's a bit of liquidity stacked at this particular level. We've now penetrated again, and we're sitting here on this 1743 or 1746 fib level. The fibs being very, very well respected on F at the moment. So obviously this is the last little line of defense before I would imagine we make our way back down towards that 1700 or that 1680 level. Looking at Gravy Train and what it tells us on the 1 hour time frame, it gave us the literal top. So there you go. Told us to stop our longs at that 1865 level. As I said today, we were trapped inside this little zone, this little trading zone for a short time. So if you were looking to take profits or looking for short entries, you might wait until we have a breakout of that particular range before making a decision. I said certainly before going too aggressive on the longs, I would wanting to wait to see what happens at this 1880 level. So here we are now. We have busted out of that zone and we wait to see what happens. Looking at our EMAs, we do have some 200 EMA support around that 1700 level. And of course, looking at Unicon as well. We'll go to the higher time frames. This not looking overly strong for F at this particular moment. So looking at where we are now, if we do continue to the downside, that 1650 level looking pretty promising. Again, Steamroller bang on. Pair that in with things like Gravy Train and your other tools. That looks like the likely area at the moment, 1690, sort of 1687 for F at the moment. All right, moving on to LTC USDT. We didn't quite get that move that I was looking for on LTC, which is a shame. So looking at our second trend line here now as well, we're looking for that little bit of trend line support here. Again, Steamroller pretty much calling the literal top on this one. Gravy Train, we're still within our gravy cloud, but looking at where we are now, to me, I guess that 184 level is going to be significant and looks like the likely outcome if we cannot hold this trend line. At the moment, looking at the 4 hour time frame, it's not looking overly strong, is it? So certainly could be trapped again within this little range and see what happens at this particular level. If we can hold that 184 level, that would probably give me a little bit more confidence. If we can't hold that level, then I think it's pretty set where we may be headed from there. So that's LTC at a glance. The other alts, I haven't even been playing at all. Theta is just one of those coins that just seems to perform really well in times of turbulence for BTC, and it has well and truly made its way up. SXP, another one playing really nicely at the moment. Unfortunately, one that I had not been trading as of late. I sold up here and I did not get back in after that 280 dip. So for myself, staying well clear of the alts at the moment. I would much rather just focus on the big three, continue making profits on those ones rather than being spread too thin. I'm going to have a quick look at the BTC dominance chart and looking to see where things are now. So you can see that the BTC dominance is rising slowly again now. The ideal outcome for me would be to sort of just let this range and even sink a little bit further lower would be quite nice to let the alts do their thing. But looking at where we are now on the BTC dominance chart, nothing really too telling to say to us the BTC dominance is going to increase. We've just sort of been trapped between that sort of 63 and that 60 level for a little while now. Steamroller telling us that there may be some movement due and so maybe some more excitement due on BTC at the moment. But again, I'm going to wait to see what happens over the course of the weekend and let the early start to the week next week dictate where things might go. All right, that's it for me, Tex. If you like what we're doing here at UTG, please hit that subscribe button. We look forward to seeing you on the next UTG update. Take care.